Hi everybody, welcome to Fortunate Creations. I'm Kim and this is day 21 of the Santa Cloth Challenge. So quick background. Around Thanksgiving, I had people in the chat from Live Coffee with Kim write down a stitch and a color, and then I put up like an advent tree and I put these little slips of paper inside of them. And each day starting December 1st, I've been pulling out a paper and making a dishcloth set. You can see them all here out of that stitch. The challenge itself is just to make a dishcloth, but I've been making a set. It's a dishcloth, a pot holder, and a scrubby. So today's stitch is the granny stitch in green. Sorry for the yawn. It's the granny stitch in green. It's too easy, of course. So I'm trying to make it a little bit more difficult. So let me see. I've tried 1, 2. Where'd it go? 3 different times. I'm on the 4th attempt. And I wanted to share because the struggle is real. So I'm trying to do all 3 colors because this morning in Coffee with Kim, they picked 3 different colors. So I'm trying to make a granny square using all 3 colors. I'm going to do it on the diagonal. Hopefully. It took me a minute, but I think I have it figured out now. And I'm going to keep going with that. Now I'm using Premier Home, Sage, Premier Home, Lime, and Sugar and Spice, Pine, I believe. Pine. So those are the 3 colors I'm using for the actual towel itself. So you can see the concept of what I'm doing. I'm doing it. It looks a little loose right now, but I'll tighten it up. I'll tighten it up with a border around the outside. But this is what I'm working on right now. It looks terrible at the moment. It looks very loose and wonky, but if the vision in my head comes through, it's going to be really pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and keep working on this. All I'm doing is 3 different colors. Each row I change colors, and I'm running them up the side like that. Each row I change colors and add 1 more. Obviously, that's in the theme of the granny stitch, right? I add 1 more. I'm just going to keep going and see how it works. Somehow I have to make this a square. So eventually I'm going to get out as far as I can and then go back in. I didn't think of that till now. So, yeah, we can work this out. All right. So I'm going to keep going till I get to the point where I think it's wide enough. And then I'll come back on and share with you the process of how I figure out to make it skinnier again. So as you can see, I'm going to figure it out. Or I'm going to run out of yarn. It doesn't matter, but stay tuned. Okay, guys, so I got this far. It's kind of cool looking. I'm not in love with it, but I think I can salvage it. Obviously, I have a lot of tails to tuck in still, and I do have to block it to give it its right shape. But I tried to do a kitty corner pattern and then a square pattern because being a granny square, I didn't want to have, I didn't want to cheap out and just do something too easy. So I'm going to try to shape it up nicely. The other problem is I also had 3 different types of yarn, 3 different weights of yarn. So I'm going to block this, and then I'm going to figure out which end is best for the handle, and I'm going to continue from there. I am about an hour and a half into this pattern, so I'm not giving up at this point. I think I can salvage this, and we shall see. Stay tuned. Okay, so I made it to the towel part. I'm going to have to block it. It's working, but I'm going to have to block it to give it the right shape. So let's try to find a button that's going to work. Here's a lime green one, a dark green one, that one's too little, that one's too little, that one's shaped like a ladybug. but it's too little. That's the same as that one. All right, I think I'm going to have to go with, the lime green because it's going on the dark green yarn. So we're going to put these two back. We're going to go with the lime green. We're going to find a needle that'll go through it, which is always my challenge. And then I'm going to go ahead and sew it on. This definitely is calling for some blocking. I'm not going to do the single around the outside because I already did this whole, well, maybe I will. Maybe I will. I'll see how it looks when I'm done. So let's go ahead and sew this button on. The trick is to flatten the yarn as flat as you can so it'll fit through the needle. Aha, success. And then lay this down. Nice and even. Yep, I'm talking to you through a button. Okay, so I got the lime green button and I'm using the dark green yarn to sew it on. I always like the contrast like that when I'm doing the buttons. Okay, up here. As always, make sure you sew that button on really well. If you do not, you will regret it, because buttons will tend to pop off. So make sure you do your best to sew it on there as tightly as you can. And remember, you're sewing through a pattern, so you got to make sure you get yarn in there or you're just going to be wasting your time and not sewing the button on. So, all right, so come on. Okay, one more time through. There we go. Back through there. I'm going to tie the knot, hide the yarn, hide the tails, and then I'm going to do that row. Now, the question is, do I do a row in the moss or do I do a row in the green, the dark green? I'm going to just go with the moss. I've had enough contrast on this. I'm going to go with the green. Do I have enough of the green? I don't want to be playing yarn chicken. And oh, you know what? I have another one though. We're not playing yarn chicken. I have enough. So we're going to go ahead and do a row of single crochet all the way around the outside, hiding in the tails as I go. I'm doing single because that's going to help me shape this up when I'm ready. This thing's pretty flimsy for a kitchen towel, and I want to give it some stability in its shape. So if my hands aren't on camera, I'm literally just trying to place these as equally as possible all the way around the sides. And I'm going to go all the way around the whole cloth, hiding these tails in as I go along, trying not to. It is a challenge. So here I took the simplest stitch, the granny stitch, and I turned it into a very, not complicated, but it was a time-consuming one for sure. I was trying to be a little more creative than just a granny square. So I threw myself into a creative mind bender here. But it worked. I think it worked out very well. I think the scrubby is going to be really cool because I'm doing that in the moss color, because that's the only color scrubby I have for green. So I'll do the moss and I don't know, we'll see how it looks together. I might do the moss and the lime, bring some more lime into it. Yeah, because we got a lot of the dark green in this. We've got a lot of the lime green in this. So I'm going to, not the lime green, I'm sorry. We're going to have a lot of the moss because that's the scrubby part. Yeah, so the scrubby is going to be, well, I'll see what it looks like. I'm not a big fan. I'm struggling with that because I'm not a big fan of lime green. Although I know I need it to bring the color in, I'm really not a huge fan of lime green in general. So we're just going to have to wait and see what mood strikes me when I'm doing this small cloth scrubby, as well as when I'm doing the pot holder. Now I've started the pot holder, hot plate, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to use it for. I started it and I think I'm going to go ahead. It's going to be really thick, but I'm actually using all three colors together. So I'm crocheting them together. It's a little tough, but I think it's worth it because of the effect it gives. So I'll finish that. I do have to throw some laundry in too and do some house cleaning. It's just terrible because I sit here with all of this to do, but I also know, I've still got stuff to do out and around the house. So I've got to try to budget my time. Not easy when you've got stuff to do, right? Now, when I get to the corners, I don't actually do like any chain spaces. I just put 3 or 4 single crochets in the corner. Probably 4 because I did chain 2 on that. So you put 4 in the corner and then it eases around the corner nicely without any chain spaces. Again, I don't need any more chain spaces. This is just a very loose towel anyway. And I think when I take the picture for the thumbnail for the video, I'm going to go ahead and make sure I have it blocked the right shape. I think the lime soap is also going to be nice with this. So I think I can save this project and make it a pretty project. Is it going to be my favorite? Probably not. My sister's favorite color is green, and I know she could use this for her camper. So this is probably going to end up with my sister, because the other green one that I did is actually camo, and that's going to end up with my brother because camo is his favorite color. Oh, my brother, I can't. So going up the other side. Trying to go fast, like I said, because I'm almost 2 hours into this already. And for me to take 2 hours for something as simple as a granny square stitch really is upsetting to my own not to you guys, but to my own creativity. Shouldn't have taken me this long. But as I showed you in the beginning, I had to start over 3 times before I finally found the way that I would accept it. And again, this was without a pattern. This was without guidance. I just said, hey, why don't I do a corner to corner with all 3 colors? Now, keep in mind, I've never done a corner to corner before in anything. In a square, in a blanket, in a nothing. So the concept is there. I get it. Kind of like a shawl to me, right? But the difficult part is when you're doing a corner to corner, how do you know when to start tapering back in so that you end up with a square? That was the difficult part for me. And I don't think I did it a perfect square. I did a square-ish kind of thing. And I think it'll work. Well, it's going to have to work because I'm not starting over again. Now, if you were on Coffee with Kim today, you saw that we drew 2 days because I want to have all of the towels done for Christmas morning when we all hang out together, have some coffee, and go over all the towels. So at some point today or tomorrow, I'm going to be doing Christmas Day as well. So I'll have it all done. I'm not going to reveal it until the final day, but I'm going to draw it, or I'm going to do it so I have it finished. We already drew it this morning. Okay, here we are back at the beginning. Yeah, I wasn't going to do the single around the outside, but it really is giving it a little bit more stability. Oh, I like that. Much better. Okay. All right. Now, I've got that finished. I'm going to tuck my tail and I'm going to start working on let's pull this out. I don't like it, so we're going to pull it out. I was going to do all 3 colors and then go and do 1 color of each, but I'm thinking I'm just going to do the whole thing, all 3 colors. So we have to pull this. Come on, everybody. What are we doing? There we go. Pull it all out, and then I'm going to go ahead and just keep going with all 3 colors. Like I said, it'll be really thick, but as a hot plate, you want it kind of thick, right? Okay, let's go right here. Oh, for goodness sake, 1 more row. All this yarn fiber in the air, my nose is killing me. Okay, so we're back down to the original. There we go. I'm going to keep using this, so here we go. Now, since it's so thick, I'm going to do 1 half double for each instead of 2 like you normally do, and I'm chaining 1 in between. It's just too thick of a stitch to go any other way. Let's hope this doesn't tangle, because that would be annoying, wouldn't it? It's going to. You know it's going to, right? You know it's going to tangle, but we'll get this far anyway. Okay. I'm not doing a chain 1 in between the corners and the sides. I'm only doing a chain 1 in the corner. And that's sort of how I do my granny squares anyway. The only time I chain is in the corners. Most of the time it's a chain 2, but with such a thick yarn that I'm using, it's only going to be 1. Okay. I'm going to try not to stick my tongue out. This will use less yarn as well. As I go, I got to keep trying to keep this square, because it's going to want to try to circle up on me. We got yarn barf going on here. All right, I'll do 1 more round with you, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the rest off camera so I can work a little bit faster. Hold on here. Okay. Here's the corner. Keep it square. Here's the center. Okay, keep it square. There we go. Nope, I dropped 1. See how difficult this is, guys. This is why I'm an hour and a half or 2 hours into this by now. Okay. Chain 1. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and work on the rest of this, and I will get back with you when I'm ready to put the loop on to hang it. So don't go anywhere. Okay, so we are complete. Full disclosure, I thought I just recorded this, but I hadn't hit the record button. So, okay, I have the dish towel. That started as a corner to corner granny stitch. And then I did the hot plate, which I took all 3 colors together in 1 strand, and I made that into the hot plate. And then I took, you can't even see it here, but I took the double crochet and I made that into the scrubby. So here is day 21, the granny stitch in green, and I went ahead and I paired it with a lime soap. So there we go, day 21, the granny stitch in green. I'm going to add this to the playlist there will be 21 videos in that playlist. So go on, check it out. They're really fun. If you're looking for stash busting ideas or last minute gift ideas, these work up in about an hour, and they're super simple. So go ahead, give them a try. If you do, send it to me on Facebook or via email if you're not on Facebook. I would love to share it with everybody. So thank you so much for hanging out. Thanks for working through this one with me. It was fun to see the progress and the process. Remember, everybody, always be happy, be kind, and be creative. I'll see you next time.